All my poets holler, right on. Right on. As a poet writes on, right on. I can dig it.
I wanna fuck the shit out you. I'm talking deep boning, long stroking for the fluff of that ass while I caress the shit out you. Forget the games of exotic foreplay. The only thing I know how to do right now is go in and out you. Yes, my name is Blk over and over while I slap that ass to talk about the day your lion got tamed. And I call you a lion because them lips too fat to be a pussycat.
In hell. For now he was in power. The woman and man had been tossed from the garden. Little did he know that grace and glory had already been commissioned for their pardon. It was in his own thoughts where he first placed himself above the Most High, called himself Alpha Omega. I am that I am, it's I who rules the sky. Now he and his first third plus all those who follow can't hear or see God with false hearts so hollow. What comes from our mouth must flow from our heart, and once it's filled with an agape love, that's just the start.
I just know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm somebody shot a Hennessy off the rocks with no chaser. I will not water myself down for the likings of your taste buds, so if this drink is too strong for you to be sipping, I suggest you find another that suits your palate. I will not apologize for how you ingest my adjective, nouns, and verbs because these words, they for my consumption. I pour these similes and metaphors into my cup because I know it's just enough to get somebody fucked up. I said, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm somebody's glass of tequila that makes their sunrise, and if I'm not mistaken, almost everybody loves the sunshine. And if you happen to be in that number who doesn't, that's on you. Because I'm still gonna do what I do, how I do it. I know I'm a tall glass of water and I don't need validation from others to prove it. I said, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I'm somebody's glass of wine when they feel the need to be dined after a long day. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I'm somebody's Long Island or Jose. I'm somebody's Douce or Rose. Moral of the story is I might not be what you prefer in your cup, but baby, I'm just enough to get somebody fucked up.
Dear men, tend the garden. Take heed to water her well, pulling the weeds. Deadhead on occasion. Daily attention is required to get the maximum bloom. Moisture, heat, perfect growing conditions. Water the garden well, water that garden well and it will bloom. Rewarding you, thank you ladies, with bloom after bloom after bloom.
Even her scars lost count of the number of times she cut her fingers picking up the pieces of her shattered heart. When your only tool is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, so his blows to her head felt like credits after the movie they read titled, "And You Did This to Me Because..." Director, victimization of the vulnerability needed to love. Produced by misery and misuse. Categorized in a genre of trauma and abuse. Broken expectations casted and supported by multiple distortions of the truth. Even her scars lost count of the number of times she cut her fingers picking up the pieces of her shattered heart.
Poetry. But this is my first time where I get to drop some lines in front of people live, so let me take you on a journey and I promise we'll be fine. Okay. For those who don't know me or never noticed me thinking, who is this guy here doing poetry? I am Cali T. So nice I've said it 2 times. I ain't here to be super deep, I just want to kick you a few rhymes. Welcome you to the thoughts in my head, to how I was taught and bred. For a time such as this, the lines on the dish, me and the mic a perfect pair like white wine with some fish. Be sure to clean your plate, don't be leaving a mess. What I'm serving is fresh, known to intrigue and impress. Known to make the ladies' heartbeats and the fellas feel pride. But I got a girl, so I tell the world, if it's in my DMs, don't slide. I'm not known for no perfection, just my own self-reflection that provides a deep perspective to help each to get the message. Message! Your talents are for you to hope. Life's balance, so we can cope while we're hanging on by a rope. Hanging on by a thread. Making changes to get ahead, praying, dear God, all I ask is you let me live before I'm dead. My mind turns as time burns, the clock is racing my dreams. I'm chasing the same thing, so every foot is a win for me. Every feat is a win for me. Every fell I fall forward. For them to think it was meant to be, since my dream's what I fell toward. You know, when they tell my story, the day I've gone on to glory, I want them to say he won his race and he showed his passion with poetry. Thank you.
The abuse has its roots, and in the misuse of power, how almost brilliantly it steals our dignity. So we are seduced by the overuse of chivalry that almost instantly turns into misery. A symphony of rhythm and blues. First comes isolation, separation from everyone and everything that could have saved us.
Your mask. Unpack that baggage marked to the grave. Being happy is something as a man I had to get used to. So believe me when I tell you there are perks to being the little spoon. There is a stillness in laying in bed with the person you love until noon. There is a peace in not having to be the loudest, biggest dog in the room. There is a reason that Egyptian gods made room for others in their tomb. You are not betraying some bullshit sacred code that was ironed into your DNA if you have the audacity to tell your male friends to have a nice day. You are not betraying your manhood when you claim to love another man. You are betraying your manhood every time you refuse to take a stand.
Our love, I know it's growing. We're good together, let's keep it going. Being with you makes me smile, and I haven't seen your face in a while, no. Someday we'll say all that we want to say, and we'll make it up somehow, some way. When you come back, I'll be here waiting.
They look at me, they see a color, like it's something we choose, getting beat and put under and always wanting us to lose. But that was until June 19th in 1865 when my people were freed and no longer needed to cry. But then we see things still happen. That's not a surprise. George Floyd got kneeled on. They say he didn't abide. But when your skin is the weapon, where can we confide? I thought we passed the time where African Americans were left hanging. There have been many crimes. Like Breonna Taylor, she didn't deserve to die. Like it's illegal to stay in bed or to even go outside. Trayvon Martin looked suspicious, so he deserved to not have life. Just another white man choosing when we can have our rights.
I fell in love with myself again. For so long, I was someone who looked in a mirror and I just hated what was staring back at me. I despised the shell of a man that I saw. I wanted to split these veins and see the fire ants of the anxiety come crawling out. I could almost see the sludge of depression oozing from every pore. So I slowly started to kill myself. But not my whole self, because I couldn't take my own life. I have too many loved ones that would feel at fault. But in all reality, they were the only ones holding me together when my patchwork fixes began to fade. I owe everything I have to them. They helped teach me that I didn't want to kill myself, but instead eradicate the parts of myself that I hated. So I started whittling away at insecurities until I became the splinter of the man I wanted to be. And from that small remnant, I planted a seed to grow into myself again, to fall in love with life again. I took what was broken and fractured and I used it to become whole, and I haven't been this happy in years.
Mentor, I've just been going through a lot at home. I know I've been missing a lot of school lately. To kind of give you a little insight, I was shooting bottles in the field the other day with my stepfather's gun. Every bullet convincing my dark side that the punishment for him shall be death. Shattered glass on the ground showing my reflection. I see the boy that's been beaten, tied up, and ridiculed and cries because he must return home. See, if only it was just me in this situation, I would run away from this nightmare while dream catchers dangle from my neck and never return to this fiery pit called assault. However, me and my little brother been caged to the childhood sentence. He slammed my brother's head against the wall the other day. My brother held his head dazed, and this drunk man with no reason, his heart beats inhumanity as he served me lash after lash to my backside. The belt was intended for my brother, but I refuse not to be my brother's keeper. I'm just so sick and tired of the picture on repeat of Jesus being split apart with every strike to my flesh, every strike to my flesh, every strike to my flesh. My stepfather standing there in his Roman gear as he swings his whip, his belt. Where's our mother in our time of need? She sits there high off of shame and guilt that turns her back to us. The carry of her cigarette burns anxiously to drown out the sorrow and echoes of responsibility she chose to leave, Mama. See, my little brother seems to think this should come around, but sorry, little bro, I lost my voice for that 3 years ago. I can't join no after-school programs or be dreaming about college upon graduating, because unlike Mom, I refuse to leave you alone with this beast. See, mentor, I know you're here to keep us on the path of doing right things, but lately doing right things started mutating to by any means, and I swear to God, if you touch my brother again, watch the spark of his own gun go towards him. Will it penetrate his evil intentions? Watch him fight for his life like me and my brother being victim night by night. I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home, y'all.